Alright, we're just about to start. Looks like, just waiting on Pili. Okay, guess I gotta make lobbies, and I don't really know how. How do you create with a mod? There we go. Alright, we'll just start with one. Oh, whoops. How exactly do I do... How do I change region? Eastern. I think that'll do it. Maybe? Alright, here we go. Game one. Pili versus Rail. $10 per match. Now, these two players are going to be interesting because they're both super aggressive. And Rail actually coached Pili many years ago. So that's a fun little caveat. How do you change the score? Does anybody know? Oh, you can't even see Pili. Let me get that. How do I get that? Window capture header. Chat box frame. Maybe it's header. There we go. Get that out. Alright, it's just going to say 0-0 the whole time. But it really is 0-0 this first game. So they're both opening up a low ground, or high ground wall, which I'm very happy to see. It's like Pili going. They're both just going to go 2-gate. But yeah, they're both going to be super aggressive. Rail is probably the more creative build order player of the two. And Pili's probably got slightly better micro. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. Rail's going for a 1-gate expo, and he's going to expand on the behind minerals. Or on the... Yeah, this is sick. What a guy. This is what we're here for. This is what we're here for. Builds like this. This is why Rail's one of the most fun players to watch for me. He just does the most interesting things. Like, would you ever think to fast expo to this base? Like, I wouldn't. Like, ever. So he goes for the Chrono on the Stalker. Pili's going for 2 Stalkers. Warp Gate. Very cool. Let's see how this plays out. And Pili goes Robo, so he might just be trying to 3-gate Robo. And try to bust it. We'll see. I know neither of these players play very much anymore. So we'll see how practiced Rail is defending this build. I guess I can get my webcam off too. Goodbye. He recalls the Stalker. Okay, so he sees the 2 Stalkers and recalls it. So yeah, actually it's a 4-gate Robo. And Rails decided to go Stargate as a follow-up. So, I don't know. We'll see if he can hold. It's going to be interesting. I mean, taking this base is very different than taking like this base. Obviously. So, who knows? Who really knows? Why no webcam? I can turn it back on. Just thought you wanted to watch the game. Void Ray first. So Rail's kind of assuming Pili. He hasn't scouted anything. He actually no scouted till that Stalker. Oh my god. So he went Nexus off of completely blind. Like Pili could have 1-gate Expo for all he knows. I mean not anymore because he saw the 2 Stalkers. And that's why he chose Void Ray first. Very interesting. So here comes the attack. He's going for a follow-up Oracle. He probably needs as many Void Rays as possible, to be honest. But this prism or this battery on the high ground is really interesting here because is it in power? Yeah, it's in power. The super battery just makes it really awkward. And if he goes down here, he's really committing. Rail kind of made a mistake to let him down. See how this goes. I don't know. He can lose probes because Pili's really all in, but yeah, he really can't lose Stalkers. And this Oracle, if he remembers this Oracle, this can do a lot. Watch the mini-map with the Oracle, see, okay, he's coming in. And there's no battery, so now Pili's super all in. He can actually just like let this die now. Only 1 Stalker warped in. He just can't be fighting here. He needed to be up on the high ground. Interesting. I think if he would have fought on the high ground, if he would have just ran back up to the high ground after the Oracle, he probably would have been good. I know Rail probably doesn't care what map he plays, but Pili 5.4. .2 Zerg. Psh. Why oh, it says minimum MMR. Was he ever 5.4 this season? The hell? So, I mean, that build would have worked if he would have just ran back to the high ground. He could have suicided. I mean, he could have just, like, lost the Nexus. Because the Oracle got enough damage done to where I mean, Pili was just super all in. Any map. I don't know current ladder maps. Yeah. Rail doesn't care about maps. He just does builds. So yeah, it's $10 to Pili in his pocket. What a god. Wait, Pili obviously had to take a break after his first game. So we're waiting on him. He's going to make the second map. He actually makes a high ground expo map. I guess there's like all high ground expo maps, right? So you don't really have a choice. Response and Billy in the same stream. Happy is gonna explode. Alright, so game 2. Does anybody know how to change the score? Oops. Plus sign? No. I gotta Google it. I'm sure Google knows. Control Shift O. No, it's... I don't know. Might be in the hotkey setting. It's definitely Control Shift something. Alright, well. It's 1-0 for Pili. Just keep that in mind. Shift plus number for top, Control Shift plus number for bot. Control Shift 1. No. I just changed it to a best of... Ah! There we go. Not really a best of 5, but we'll just do that. Best of 5. So Control Shift 1. Oh, it's Control 1. And probably Shift. Okay. I see. Okay. So it's Control plus the number and then Shift plus the number if anybody was interested. BO5 with bonus rounds, right. Alright, so they're just both playing one gate toxic build. I should have told them they could play any map pool. This map pool blows for... Although it's good, because neither of them play at all. So it's fun to see players that don't really play very often to see what they do. You know what I mean? Because neither of them really know the one gate meta at all. So we got Stargate Nexus. Yeah, I mean, we know Pili won't make a 4th base, true. But Pili has chosen to go for the Nexus before Stargate. So, I think potentially Rail can get aggressive here, but he did go Adept, so it's going to make it harder. If he would have gone Zealot, Stalker, Stalker, and then, oh, this is kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, your Adept is kind of just able to get some stuff done. But anyways, if you'd have gone Zealot, Stalker, Stalker, and then Oracle, you can attack with the front from the Zealot, Stalker, Stalker, and then Oracle on the main. This Adept is a god. 4 kills. 5 worker kills already. So Pili opened with the faster Nexus, but Rail's up 2 probes because of that. So we got an Oracle coming across the map. And Pili is scouting with the Zealot. Check their vision. Yeah. It should go to the natural because he saw the battery in the main. He's going to get more probe kills. If he gets 2 more kills here, maybe 3. Oh, he wasn't watching. So this is definitely a good start for Rail. He's kind of styling on Pili so far. That first Adept is quite nice. And he kills a Zealot. So if you look at the supply, I mean, he's way ahead in supply. Pili's follow-up's going to be Blink. Yeah, the one thing is Rail's tech is much slower, obviously. Pili's catching up in the worker count, even though he's lost quite a few more. He's down 7 probes, lost already. It's pretty crazy. This looks like a pretty normal build from Rail, other than like I think the Void Ray probably isn't necessary. And the second battery, he's kind of playing a little too safe. For what Pili's capable of, probably. But he just doesn't. He's just trying not to die at this point, I think. But Pili's just playing greedy. He's just going for a fast 3rd base. So if I know Pili, it's going to be a fast 3rd base, and then he's going to do some sort of timing off of 3 bases with Stalkers and Zealots with Prism in the main. But yeah, I mean, if Rail was scouting a little better, he could know this 3rd base was coming a little quicker with this Oracle, and I think he could do something. And it kind of looks like he's going to anyways. He's adding 3 more gateways, so he's up to 6 gates. He might just be going for a timing, assuming that Pili's going to expo here, even though he hasn't actually confirmed it. That's kind of what it looks like, and he's cutting probes now. So yeah, it's just a 6-gate Blink Stalker follow-up. And Pili's adding a lot of tech. I mean, he's got a Robo now, he's got more gateways, he's got this 3rd base. He's adding a lot more probes. So this is not going to be an easy hold. I mean, Rail's cut at 42, so it's very early. It's going to depend on if this Prism gets caught or not. Prism is very important. And remember, he's also got this Oracle that he can go in and continue the stasis on. So keep track of that as well. He doesn't have glaives. He's just adding some Adepts because he assumes that Pili's going to have Zealots. So that's good. And yeah, this looks hard to hold. But this is pretty all in from Rail. Maybe he just walks into the natural. If he just walks into the natural, I think he just wins. But even this, I think he probably just wins. The battery is the only problem. Did he already use super battery? And this adept, and this oracle's shutting off all mining in the main, so that's huge. Targets the pylon down. I don't know, he can lose a lot of probes and still win. But I think this is probably over. Army value says a lot. Pili F2 is a prism into Rail's army. Yeah, these adepts are really nice against these villains. I think this is it. I think this is going to be 1-1 for Rail. This is a really interesting little timing. Not many people do this. Like, this is not a thing, really, for most players. I love it. Again, this is why Rail is cool to watch. He just throws out these builds that are really strong that nobody else does. Of course, he got ahead in the early game, though. GG. 1-1. Rip Billy. Very nice. 6 gateways. Added adepts into it. Very cool. And the oracle in the main, remember, was very nice as well with the stasis trap. Stargazers. Pili goes with the crazy map. Game 3. Now, I've seen Rail play on this map before, and the times I've seen him play, he goes very early aggression because most players play way too greedy on this map. Look at that. Getting like professional. Got that set up in no time. 1-1 here. They've each got $10 in their pocket. Like a boss. I'm glad. I'm glad they both won money. I was worried that one of them would just like choke a little, but these players don't choke. Thanks, Flip a Flapjack. Much appreciated. So they're both going high ground gates. This is pretty standard. Pili's not going for the wall off. Rail is. And I think the wall off on this map in particular is just like way too good to not do. Because you basically just guarantee yourself a free expo. But you don't have to expo. So it's just like, it's just the super good. But Rail does choose not to scout again, so like very cool. Like he's just like, I don't care what you're doing, I'm just doing my build, and we'll see if you can beat me. So he's not choosing for the fastest possible expo, he goes for a core, whereas really Pili does go for the fastest possible expo. He goes, well, not quite, you know, you can Nexus first, but almost fast as possible. Nexus into core. So neither player knows what the other is doing. Because Rail chose not to scout and Pili can't get into his opponent's base. Pili has a better idea than Rail does, though, because Pili at least sees the Cybernetics core, so he's got to know that his Nexus is up quicker. So he knows he's behind in tech. But he can't know if Rail has another pylon back here already and is building a tech building, or if Rail just expanded. Pili choosing Stargate. I think that's really good on this map, clearly. You have this area here, and then you're just in your opponent's space. So Stargate is a pretty clear option. Rail disagrees and he just goes straight into Twilight. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. It's a very fast Oracle. Relatively fast. But Rail should be prepared. I mean, he's been chronoing. He chronoed his first Stalker and he's building more. So go straight into Dark Shrine. Okay, interesting, nice. And he's still, remember, he hasn't left his base yet. Rail has not left his base. He's just goes straight into DTs. No fear. Now, how Rail uses DTs is very interesting. He actually almost uses them defensively in a lot of cases, where like if his opponent does any type of aggression, he just has that as a backup. He will use them aggressively occasionally, but more often than not, you'll see him just warp in a DT as part of his defense against like Blink Stalker builds and everything, which is very interesting. Pili following up with a Void Ray and a Robo, so more of a response style play. I like it. Looks like he's going for like the playing for the longer game type of build, I would say. Trying to win points with the caster. True. Pili killed 3 workers with this Oracle so far, so that's pretty good. Worker count, Rail's actually way behind in workers. He's only at 38. Pili's at 46. And that's because, remember, Pili went with the Nexus before Core. And also he got those 3 worker kills. So those 2 things added up have equated into Pili having quite a good economic lead here. Pili not going for the full meme. He's going for a second gateway rather than like a fleet beacon or a second Stargate instead. As I say that, he throws down the second Star. So he goes 2 gateways and 2 Stargates. That's kind of interesting. I wonder why he feels like he needs 2 gateways. So Rail's going to be on kind of a timer here. He's going to have to do damage relatively fast. He still has yet to even like scout his opponent. He hasn't left his base at 6 minutes into the game.
Base is under attack.
His first scout is gonna be this this Phoenix here. Yes, scouting is for nerds, truly.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
The problem is when your opponent has played pretty greedy, you're gonna have some issues. So yeah, we're playing Void Ray Immortal for Pili, and yeah, Rail's gonna have to hit a timing here, which looks like he's gonna try for. He's getting the Robo. I'm assuming this is gonna be Prism, and then yeah, he's gonna have to go relatively quickly. If you let your opponent get up too many Immortals and too many Void Rays, you're gonna have a hard time. Especially on this map, but basically any map. Still no Prism, so, but is he cutting workers yet? Kind of hard to tell. He hasn't cut workers yet. There's the Prism. He's got Blink, I would assume. Yep, he has Blink. So yeah, his attacks come in relatively quickly. Pili is geared up for it though. He's got mass cannons. He's got 4 cannons at each base. He's keeping his units in between the two bases, which is kind of nice. It sucks that he lost his Oracle though, because he could have stasises. So that really blows. The other thing I'd say is the mortal count isn't quite as nice as it could be. So yeah, rail behind this, taking a third nexus or fourth nexus. This Pili playing not so elegant, sad face. This observer's really, really nice. That's like a really nice positioning for it. Look at that. He sees everything. He knows it's coming, so he can bring his units down here. Yeah, I don't think Rail's gonna be able to do much. We got 6 cannons. I wish we had a fleet beacon. Oh, there we go. Fleet beacon or Robo Bay. A little late, but you know. I don't know, guys. I don't see how this does anything. I mean, he just goes for it. GG. 2-1 Pili. The 6-minute scout does not work out that game. That's the one problem with that. If your opponent plays like relatively greedy, you're gonna have a hard time. Pili, cha-ching, up to $20. Game number 4, right? It's 4? Yeah, 4. Number 4. Okay. I'm hoping they, I'm assuming they're both going to go for a high ground pylon. Let's see. Their rally point says yes. The next thing we have to see if they go 1 gate or 2 gate. I would assume 2 gate for both of them, but you never know. Anything is possible. Rail again, choosing just not to scout. Love it. Pili taking the more standard route. And they do both go double gate. Seems reasonable. So at this juncture, Rail's just slightly ahead because he hasn't scouted. When you really look at it. He's just been mining with 1 more probe for, you know, whatever amount of time that was scouted. He's choosing not to attack the pot probe, which I think is probably not great, but Pili does mess up and mine it out, so doesn't have to worry about them mining anymore. It's probe. Just being as annoying as possible. So next, neither player choosing to do any type of proxy, so they're either just gonna expo or build their tech in their main. It's an irresponsible doing laundry. Rail choosing to go double Adept, and Pili choosing to go double Stalker into Stargate. Okay, so this is going to be a 4 Stalker pressure from Pili in with an Oracle into the back. And then, since it's Pili, he's probably going to go with a Proxy Dark Shrine somewhere as a follow-up. See how accurate I am. So Rail going Adept into Sentry. This is actually something Rocker does a lot. This is almost, I mean, kind of similar to what Rocker does. Rocker always has a pile, you know, scouts really early and has a pylon somewhere, but I think Rocker does enjoy the Adepts into double Sentries. Gives you a lot of defensive capabilities and scouting capabilities. And again, since Rail's just now scouting, he needs some scouting info now. So he's using his units. Does lose an Adept, which is not great, but scouts the Nexus timing. It's a little late, so he knows it's probably some sort of tech in the background. He just can't know what. I mean, you could kind of assume it's an Oracle. It could be Twilight, though. Not likely to be Robo with this Nexus timing. This Nexus would be faster if it was a Robo, most likely. So 2 Stalkers come in just in time for the initial 4 Stalker poke, and he's going to get a scout out with a Sentry. He does choose to skip a battery in the main, and that might be a problem. Hopefully he gets a warp in here. This Oracle is going wild. 4 kills. Does get a warp in. Force field. Body block, very nice. Catching the Stalker. Oh, but he loses the Sentry, so not super great. He sees the second Oracle coming. There must have been some sort of... Oh, there was a... I missed an Adept that got in here, so he was able to get 1 probe, I think, the Adept. And 2 Adepts coming up as a follow-up. No probe on the map for Pili, so maybe he's not going to do a Dark Shrine follow-up. Maybe he's just going to play Blink from here. But it is double Oracle. Somehow, Pili killed 4 workers, but he's still down 5 workers, so... He's going to need to get something done with these Adepts, which he does. Yeah. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, no. Oof. Oof. Not great there. Messed up his rally. Pili Oracle. So Pili going 3-gate with 1 battery. I don't know if he needs this battery. I guess he's worried because he sees so many sentries that it's going to be some sort of push. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a time. That battery might actually, excuse me, might be good because it looks like it's another 6-gate build from Rail. So this is pretty cool. We have 1 Immortal and we're going to have Blink. Yeah, Pili's just been behind in workers for a long, long time. Rail got a slightly faster expo, and he just didn't take enough damage, even though he lost 4 workers for that count, or to bring it back in it. Dissects Pili if he wins. They've both won. He's already won. Rail staying on 44 workers. He does have all 4 gases though, so that could trick Pili into thinking that he's not doing a early timing, but he just is. So Rail pressuring and taking a 3rd Nexus behind it. Pili has this watchtower, which is really nice. He sees this. He knows exactly what's coming. It just depends on if he can stop it or not. He has 4 sentries himself, which are really going to help defensively as well. That's a good choice to add those in. He needs to get his units in position, though. He's not defending his third at all. Okay, there he goes. And he's getting these stasis traps up. That'll be nice. Snaps that Oracle's neck. And yeah, Pili's just going pure units at this point as well. They're both they both know what's going on. This looks really good for Rail. He's got really nice concave here. Backs up when the super battery is activated. I don't know. Snaps that other Oracle's neck. Yeah, he's got 25 stalkers to 19. But if Pili can hold on here, this is kind of an awkward angle to fight. Like, you really want all your stalkers fighting at once, and when you have them split up like this, it's increasingly difficult. Rail now adding adepts because he knows that charge lots are the most likely follow-up. And remember, Rail does have a third behind this. It's not really mining a lot, so it's not completely all in, but he's definitely mining a little less than Pili. Going into the main, I think he should really try to attack the third base. You can't really know that because his observer is not really seeing over here, but if he had the observer over here, I think he would have definitely chosen to go into the third. Yeah, it's just an awkward angle to fight for both of them. I don't really know. Pili kills that Immortal. Those force fields are really nice to block off that Immortal. And I think Pili's kind of holding. But again, like, Rail's not all in here anymore. He's actually got more probes, so he doesn't actually have to fight here, but I guess he thinks he has enough. This is what I was talking about. Since the Stalkers were in kind of split up, he's able to blink on top of one side of the army and kill all of them. And now he can fight the other side. But charge is done now, so charge lots really make a difference in Stalker versus Stalker. And Pili blinks on top of the prism. It's close. It's really close. I don't know. I mean, Rail saw that stasis and he still got 3 units trapped. That was not great. I wonder if Rail knows. I mean, Rail does not know that he's actually does not need to be fighting here, like at all. He's got more probes. He's got a fully saturated third now. And Pili was cutting probes the whole time. Neither has a forge. Pili's starting a forge now. Pili that whole time didn't even have a robo. So that was kind of risky, but he did have those oracles that died. So it's kind of understandable. Yeah, so that after that attack, units lost. Rail lost more, but he was able to, with that pressure, get his third base up and get it fully mining almost. Rail adding a forge now in a Temple Archives. +1 started for Pili. And I'm sure Rail's going to start +1 shortly after. That was tense. Yeah. I figured both these players would have some interesting games. I think they have so far. This is definitely a very interesting game. Pili now choosing, this is my time. This is my time. To attack. He's only got, he's got 8 gates. I thought it was 7. He's got 8 gateways. So yeah, both these players are just very decisive and very aggressive. Like, they basically pick a time, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to be attacking. And I will, this is like my attack. I do not care. I know I need to fight here. Here we go. Pili warping in a bunch of zealots. He's got a lot of charge slots, which are going to be really nice. And Rail has his army split up, which makes this fight awkward again. He might just get blinked on this side. He's not bringing his other side of the army quite as fast. I don't know. He's got to blink these stalkers out. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe he just fights with them. None of them are dying. I thought this was going to go a lot better for Pili than it did, and it kind of did not go great. Oh, he recalls in the wrong base. I think he wanted to recall here. Almost surely. Yeah, that sucks, because now Pili can kill some probes here. If he would have recalled to this base, that would have made a lot of sense. Yeah, this is a good game. Crazy. Rail's got to get a pylon over here. Get these gates repowered. Neither player choosing to take a fourth base. Out of the two, Rail's at least semi-likely to take a fourth. Pili will probably never take a fourth base. This Obs is finally going to die, but it's been here like so long. Rail adding Archons. They're both +2 timings, about the same. Pili going to two Robo Disruptor. And I know Rail will never play the Disruptor games, so he's going to be attacking here soon. There's the fourth base, and behind this, in front of this, behind this, and he's going to attack, and behind it he's going to take his fourth base, but I'm assuming he's going to be attacking here pretty quickly. There's the Prism. Yeah, this is going to be another attack. He does not want to get into like late game Disruptor play. It's just not what he does. Which is what I respect that a lot. I think Disruptors are probably so boring to watch in PvP. Pili, uncharacteristically taking a fourth base. Probably gonna have to cancel it pretty quick, but he did build it, you know. The thought was there. Is it really a fourth base if you just cancel it? It's almost like it's a fake out, you know. He wants his opponent to attack. Rail getting close to maxed here. Pili at 160 supply, but he does have these disruptors, so he's only got 2 of them. So Rail, I mean, this is the timing for Rail if he wants to fight. Once your opponent gets about between, the reason he's kind of preoccupied is these 3 zealots. 3 zealots really nice. Once your opponent gets up to like 6 immortals, it's a problem. So Rail just going with 4. These stalkers really need to be fighting here. Pili chose a really bad decision to super battery that side. One of these 2 batteries definitely should have been super batteried. And I think Rail's just gonna win here. I think this is it. Very decisive attack. And I think that's gonna be all she wrote. We have DTs over here though for Pili, so maybe not. We have Disruptors and Dark Templar, so literally anything's possible. He's got to be really careful. This Observer's like champion, but yeah, he's just. Woo! That got tense there. I missed the DTs in the main, but nice 2-2. 2-2. Last game. Nice. I'm glad they both won games. I'm really happy about this. I was going to feel really bad if one player just won all the money. So the rubber match, game 5. What map will Pili choose? Pili says BRB 1 minute. He must go to the bathroom again. been longer than 15 minutes. That makes sense. True. True. Alright, final map's gonna be Inside and Out. This is for the last $10. And bragging rights, which are way more important. Remember, Pili used to be Rail's student, so there's a... It's like a student versus mentor type of thing going on. Always fun. Alright, 2-2. Where else is 2-2? Can't believe. I mean, finale now. Both going for the low ground wall. Is Rail gonna Nexus first? No. He wasn't sending a probe down, so let's do it. Rail choosing a more standard scout timing, Pili continuing to scout normal timing. They see their probes, so they both go gas, and second pylon. They don't want to get blocked. All just normal one gate meta bullcrap. Both choosing to build a Zealot because you kind of have to. If your opponent builds a pylon for your Nexus, you need a Zealot to kill it fast enough. Rail loses his probe, which is not great. Pili saves his probe and goes home. Rail going for the Stargate, and he has a Nexus a lot quicker. Pili's gonna be doing his... Yeah, Pili's at least looking to do an all-in. But Rail followed this probe the entire way home, And Pili didn't send out a second probe. So I guess keeping this probe in the base really kind of helped Rail, because that's going to slow down this attack quite a bit. Pili just choosing to 4-gate here. Classic. Kind of surprised, but I don't think he likes playing these. Oh no, and Rail's going for a Phoenix first. He lost his probe, so he didn't see if there's a Stargate here or not. So he's forced into building a Phoenix in case it was Stargate, I guess is what he feels. But he's gonna see this rather quickly. Yeah, he sees it quick. He knows he sees a battery, so he needs to be throwing down some more batteries ASAP. Maybe a Robo. I don't really know what he can do here. This is gonna be not great, even though it's delayed. The one good thing is he delayed this. I think this could have already been hitting, so that's the one good thing. Is it's a little slower than it should be. Yeah, this is not gonna be easy. He chooses to pick up a Stalker right away, and he kills one. But then there's gonna be 5 more Stalkers here. Pili not 4-gating, he's 5-gating the boss. I think this might be over, especially with how they micro that Void Ray. I think Pili's gonna take it 3-2. Can Rail pull out a miracle here? I don't think so. I don't know, man. Pili top tier. Yeah, these taps are gonna cause a problem because he's choosing to fight, but he actually doesn't even need to do this. This is probably the worst decision. He could probably have just gone to the main. But either way, he just has too much. Pili's gonna take it 3-2. The 5-game. So you guys, you don't 4-game, you 5-game. Well played. GD to both players. Pili wins $30. Rail wins $20. I will make sure they get it. And yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here. So I have like we basically just have the cast, and then I'll start my stream again. GG's.